Alright, all been a while. I actually give it up. I just thought it was a bit of a waste of time, really, but because it wasn't really having the desired effect. It wasn't getting people chatting, talking, and debating stuff. But blimey, has the world gone absolutely mental since. I don't know what's going on at the moment. The world's gone mad, I think. So yeah, lots of stuff to talk about, really, but I can't really avoid, because it's, it's Phil's rants, what it's all about. I get on here and I rant, or I chat about stuff and encourage healthy debate. That's the idea. Anyway, I'm just up Salisbury Plain, and Storm Amy is making her way slowly through. It's proper blowy. I've got to take the dogs out in it in a minute. But anyway, I wanted to there's a few things to talk about, really, but today, and I might do another video later, but I want to talk about digital ID. And before I continue, I'm not here to dissuade anyone's beliefs. Some of you might think it's a great idea. I personally don't. Some of you might think it's a good idea for security and for immigration and whatever they're spouting off this week about it. So what was it? 2.5–3 million people signed the petition. I didn't sign it, for the very same reason I don't want it. So between 2.5 and 3 million people signed the petition, and Keir Starmer basically just said, yeah, not really bothered, we're going to do it anyway. Standard Keir Starmer, to be honest. Again, not flavour of the month with me, but people voted for him. He won democratically, so but yeah, the digital ID thing. So I just wanted to sort of go over some thoughts that I'd had about it, namely being, the reasons that they've given for it being becoming a reality and attempting to push it through Parliament is immigration, to control immigration, both illegal and presumably legal. Immigration's a big deal at the moment. It doesn't really bother me. The numbers are so low, albeit I see why people get annoyed. I do understand why people get annoyed by it all. But it's a subject I'm not going to talk about on this video, but apparently that's what the idea is for. I just can't see it. And the thing that prompted me to do the video was I went to put some money into an account, some cash into an account, and the lady at Barclays said to me, have you got any ID? And I sort of looked at her as if to say, what do you want ID for? And she went, oh, it's anti-money laundering. And I said, well, isn't that what the card and the PIN is for? Isn't, the PIN, personal identification number, PIN, isn't that what that's for? She went, no, that's just for the account. The government requires us to take identification to prove who you are and that you match that card when you put cash into your account. So the slightly more aware of you might see where I'm going with this. Ultimately, I feel like it's being gently introduced, and I think that the overreach is just going to go on and on and on, because before long it will be the only accepted form of ID other than a passport, because obviously other countries aren't going to have it, so you can't use it as a passport. But your driving license will potentially go on there, and if you're given that digital ID, like QR code or whatever method they're going to use to scan it to find out who you are, when you're putting cash into the bank, I can't help thinking, something probably not very ethical will go on with that data. The long and short of it is that whoever wants to know, with the correct access and power to view an individual's file, will know how much they put into an account, when they went to the doctors, what they went there for. So you can see where I'm going with this. I just can't see it being just for the reasons that they've stated. It seems like a hell of a lot of investment and time and money just to control immigration and sort of develop a database of who is here legally and who is not, and it just doesn't sit right with me. And as I've stated, I think in the beginning it might well come across just for that use, but the potential uses for government monitoring, I don't want to say monitoring, I do think we are, you know, reasonably okay with government monitoring. I mean, the educated among me may tell me that I'm an idiot and I'm talking crap, but I just can't help thinking it's a massive outlay for very little benefit for, you know, X amount of, you know, is it 1 million or just over 1 million people immigrated into the UK last year? And what, I don't know, 100,000 illegal immigrants coming across the channel. It's a massive outlay just to demonstrate those figures. Something inside me says there's going to be more to this, and it's going to be crept in, drip fed, and just become the norm. And before we know it, we'll be handing out that digital ID for everything, which will produce data on a database of everything we do. It'll be linked to your bank accounts because you need ID to open a bank account. It will be linked to your NHS file, which presumably is one of the reasons they want to do it. Your vehicles. It just all seems a bit sinister to me, and I think we're being eased in gently, is for want of a better phrase, into something way bigger. And I just don't think we should be blindly walking into it. So, like I said, I'm not here to sway people either way. You know, there's people out there who may say things like, you know, if you've got nothing to hide, what's the problem? Well, even if you've got nothing to hide, you've also got a right to not be monitored by the government, especially not in a drip-fed clandestine way. I don't want to get the tinfoil hats out. You know, I am a former police officer. I've seen what data that we do hold on people that can be accessed for the right reasons, which is vast. Certainly regarding, you know, firearms ownership, people who've been up to no good in the past for whatever reason, domestic violence tags, vehicle tags, what vehicles are used for. You know, the ANPR system can ping where a vehicle's been. We are monitored to a degree as it is. So I think on that basis, it's right to think that the government would push for a little bit more. And I don't want us to walk blindly into it. So if you're for it, you're for it. Then by all means, you know, campaign for it. Stand by your beliefs and your opinions and get out there and tell your MPs that that's what you want. If you're not, 3 million signatures didn't work. So I implore everybody who is not to write to MPs. And if these petitions do come up, get your signature on there. Like I say, mine wasn't for the same reason I don't want digital ID. I also don't want a digital watermark of my name and postcode being attached to something that the government aren't happy about. So that's where my level of trust in the UK government currently is. I just think it's risky. Something stinks about it all. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll gladly get an ID and conform like everyone else. But at the moment, I just don't buy it. Something's very smelly. You may disagree, but yeah, obviously my aim by doing these little ranty videos is to get you all talking. And but you know, I'm not out here to call anyone a dickhead. I'm not out here to start a violent debate with people. I just want to talk about the subject. You know, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't really care either way, to be honest, if I'm wrong or not. But the aim is to get you lot chatting, you know, via my page, and just to see if I'm on the mark or if I'm off it. So that's the first video back. It's 10 minutes long. I apologise. I do try to keep them short, but I just can't do it. Like, comment, share, do what you want. Follow. Don't care if you do, don't care if you don't. I'm not in this to make anything out of it. I just like chatting about such things. So yeah, get your comments down below and let's see if I am on the mark, or if the majority is feeling the other way and they think it's a great idea. I'm just interested to know, and I would appreciate your help. Give us a follow. Cheers.